Okay, back to the solar setup for a minute. I've got everything into the box. I don't know how well you can see that, but the everything's mounted on standoffs to a piece of acrylic sheet, and that is screwed into the box. So it's all nicely mounted. Debug switch on the side here, so we can tell it to go to sleep, tell it to wake back up, and within about 8 seconds it should come back. It's on an 8-second sleep pattern, so there we go. Pop back up. I have a load on the battery just so we're dropping down below 12 volts now, and I have a notebook power supply that is going to supply roughly around 19 volts, and we're gonna connect that up as a fake solar panel. So there goes our 19 volts, and we have 3.5 amps coming in and almost 5 amps coming out, but at the lower voltage. And if I take the load off the battery, we should start climbing fairly quick there. I put a heatsink. There was no mounting options for the board there, so I took a little heatsink and zip tie, and then underneath the actual board I've taken some of the brown or the gray squishy stuff that they have in behind like TV boards and stuff to dissipate heat. So there's a bunch of that squishy stuff underneath, and it's all held in there with a zip tie. Those two voltage sensors are put off on standoffs, and again I have nothing for the current sensors, but they're kind of floating with the wires anyway. They're soldered in now, so but yeah, we're making 5 amps almost. So I put a little cap on there, and I put a diode in there. I'm guessing there's going to be a fair bit of drop across that diode, but it gives me a 0 volt reading once I actually disconnect the solar panel, instead of having whatever manages to make its way through that red board there. But with the diode there, the voltage sensor is kind of isolated. But yeah, I got it working. I'm gonna go try and hopefully take it out to the shack, and we'll see how it does. I don't have any data logging or anything yet, but voltage will tell me if it's doing better or worse. So I'll go from there and probably work on the code maybe a little bit on the side. And I do have some mobile access now. So yeah, I got one of these things, and it's almost like a phone, just a mobile hotspot. So we're gonna test that out at the shack, and hopefully should have some basic connectivity. Probably won't be doing any live streaming or anything. Maybe a test, but it's a little pricey. The flex plan that I'm on, the plan I wanted to be on, they wouldn't let me get on. So what's up with that? I'm gonna have to talk to the guy who has that same plan. I guess it's a business plan that you can only get if you already have a Rogers account. And here's what happens with the solar charger when it is charged. So goes to blue, turns off, goes back into charge, and we're full, goes back to blue. And we cycle like that. Put a load on it. Should charge, and there we go. Stay charging. Take the load back off. And we should go back to charged here fairly quickly. There we go. And recycle.